Welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Yo, very happy to be here with you all today, man. We're gonna be chopping up some NFL, man, breaking that down. I'm looking forward to later on in the week, man, Saturday, when the Iceman, Ronald Ice Coley, jumps on with me, and we really get to chop up some NFL. We've got a lot of cool stuff popping off, man. As you know, NBA is right around the corner, baby. Ooh, NBA is right around the corner, as you know, and we are so ready to get it in, man. But we still got some MLB going on. We're still chopping that up. You can look forward to a line drive at 5 coming for that. Also, of course, NFL still cranking. We're going to be doing that right now, rocking into that. And, of course, NBA's coming up, man. Really solid stuff. A lot of distractions going on in the sports world. And a lot of it has to do with, the flag and the blah, 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 and all this stuff going on, man. And, I get it. It makes sense. I am a guy who is always down for the cause, man. Always down for the cause. And I do stand in solidarity with the men and women of our military, as well as the brothers and sisters, for that matter, who, let me get myself together here. The brothers and sisters who, want to make headway in terms of, alleviating social injustices. I'm all about that, man. It makes I get it. I definitely get it. But right now, man, what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit of football, baby. Let's get it. Now, if you're not a member, a bona fide card-carrying member of the DFS Sweatshop, it's very simple. You go to the website. I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull it up for you. You go to the website, www.dfssweatshop.com, and there's a little tab you can use. Boom, bam, there it is. You go to the sweatshop, and here you're gonna see me, okay, in the studio dropping that hot fire, right? And you go to join now. That's how you will get your exclusive membership to the very best DFS community in the game. And I'm telling you, bro, we get it in here, man. We go pretty solid site, man. I use it for just about everything, man. I use it just about everything for NFL and MLB, everything. I even use it for golf, bro. We got some injury situations, and I'm gonna pull those up because we can go to ESPN. Shout out to ESPN, NFL injury news and notes. That should give us a good look at who's in, who's out. And I wanted to take a few moments to we'll take a few moments to kind of chop up some key NFL injuries, man, and talk about those, not in depth, but just enough to where we can be abreast of what's going on. So we already know you got cats like Deion Buchanan for the Arizona defense. John Brown is out. We know Julio Jones is questionable at this point, and I think he should practice today. So I foresee him playing this week. We know that was a very notable injury. We know Kelvin Benjamin, the MRI that MRI on Benjamin's injured left knee revealed no structural damage. The Panthers aren't sure about his availability week 4. The chance he might not play, so that could hurt the Carolina offense even more than Cam playing like shit. You look at the Bears here. I think the homie should be good to go. Jordan Howard, because he was good last week. We already know what time it is with that. Tyler Eifert is expected to miss a couple of games as he recovers from his back injury, excuse me. So you know what you can expect there. You got what else? Like key injuries, bro. Like main shit that we really need to cover. We need to talk about, because that's what we're focusing on, man. Because you would hate to build lines, man, and then look and see that guys are not going to be playing. And this is the good thing about NFL. We know well ahead of time who's in, who's out. It's not hard at all. TJ Yeldon is a coach's decision. He's inactive for Sunday's game against the Ravens. That's something that we could definitely look to for Leonard Fournette. That's a positive for him. We've got what else? Melvin Gordon. Yeah, Melvin Gordon. Him and the head coach Anthony Lynn both downplayed the severity of the running back's knee injury Eric D. Williams of the ESPN.com reports he's sore. He was sore last week. They'll monitor him, but they're sure he's going to be fine. So you can definitely look toward him playing. Sam Bradford. Coach Mike Zimmer says Monday that he wasn't sure if Bradford would be able to practice this week. It's day to day is what they're calling it. So they're gonna have to see how it goes on from there. So that's definitely something to pay attention to. Dante Hightower won't play Sunday versus the Texans. No, against Carolina. That's an old report. That's an old report. Audience Darkwa, the injury is nothing major. He should be good to go, but he doesn't really get the carries. Now Matt Forte is week to week, and he's gonna be available. I saw a report that says he's probably not gonna play, and if that means that means Bilal Powell can see all the run there in that spot. So that's something that you want to pay attention to as well. Then you've got Michael Crabtree. He's questionable, but he should be able to play. You've got Bradford's been day-to-day for weeks. He won't play. Yes, yeah. Darren Sproles, man, injury reserve, man, he's out. So the Kendall Smallwood cat now steps into a larger role in Philadelphia. So that's somebody to look at, kind of a cheap play that you can have at the running back position there too. What else? You got the 49ers. Nothing big there. Doug Baldwin. He should be good. He should be good. He's considered day-to-day heading into the Week 4 matchup against the Colts, but I did see a report that's saying that he should be fine. We've got what else? Pro size. You should be good. You should be good. Joe McCoy, Brett Grimes. Damn, Brett Grimes is still in the league. Wow. All right, Derrick Henry to be ready for Week 4. Yo, it was crazy. All right, so we got Jordan Reed. Jordan Reed said Monday that he remains day-to-day and will likely be limited when the teams begin preparation for Week 4, so he's still limited. And Jordan Reed, man, injury prone waiting to happen, so it's tough for Jordan Reed. And I had a request to check on Jason Verrett, to check out Jason Verrett. So the Chargers corner, yeah, we can check on Jason Verrett as far as the injuries go. So let's take a look. We go to okay, so we got Verrett. He's been placed. He's on injury reserve. Verrett's been placed on injury reserve, so he's not playing. He is not playing at all. That's tough. He is not playing. So let's go ahead, man, dig into the slate, man. We do have 16 games from Thursday all the way to Monday. We do know that DK, in all of their wisdom, has taken the Sunday night game off. Has taken the Sunday night game off of the main slate. So the Millionaire Maker, I'm going to go to it because I kind of want you to take a look at it. Let's go to... I kind of want you to take a look at it, man. We're gonna go to contest. And this is a big deal too. This is really a big deal. I'm still in the Thursday Monday joint. This is a big deal. The fact that DraftKings took that Sunday night game off, and I'm seeing a lot of the Sharks complain about it. So if the Sharks are complaining, that must bode well for us that they took that game off. Maybe it takes another layer of like running away that they can do. I don't know, but if the Sharks are complaining, it's generally a good thing for us. All right, so we've got the Millionaire Maker. I want to look at this. It's going to show us full contest detail. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We only got 12 games in the Millie Maker this week. That's something right there, bro. That's something right there. And just check out the payouts for this, bro. Like, you're gonna see the top prize be $1 million, and it's gonna go from $1 million all the way down to 150,000. That's crazy, and that's why the Sharks are complaining, because there's less possibilities of lines. You know what I mean? So that works in their favor. But the drop off is huge, man. From $1 million all the way down to 150,000, and that's just what you're gonna see. And that's the state of DFS, bro. The rake is insane. The rake is going up, and I mean, you look at it. You finish in the top 1,000 of this tournament, and you can win. You can win $150 for finishing in the top 1300s, and that's for that's out of a lot of people. That's out of a lot of people. So it's up there, man. It's up for grabs, man. I'm gonna be entering. I know some of you all will, and hopefully one of us can take that bitch down. And when the Iceman and I review your lineups, hopefully, when we review the Millionaire Maker for FanDuel and DraftKings, we will be reviewing your lineup. Hopefully. I can only hope, bro. I can only hope. So, let's go ahead, man. First game we got is going to be Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers. I'm just going to talk about this one, okay? Green Bay, very solid offensive squad so far this year. We did see a couple of the offensive linemen missing for them, and I want to go back and take a look at that too. I want to see where we stand on the Green Bay offensive linemen and see if those guys are going to be playing, because that was a big deal, bro. That was a big deal. Long snapper, let's go. Good. Okay, so we got Mike Daniels is out. David Bakhtiari, he was limited participant during Tuesday practice, so hopefully he should be able to go. You've got Brian Bulaga was a limited participant in practice, so hopefully he should be able to go. Kyle Murphy. So yeah, man, I think they can look better here in the spot. I definitely do. So of course, Aaron Rodgers is going to be one of the top plays for me. I think that what Chicago did against Pittsburgh was kind of an aberration. You always love to have some Aaron Rodgers at the crib. I'm gonna take a look at his home splits, and 28-20, 40-21, 16-27, 27, and you can depend on Aaron Rodgers at the crib to play well. And I've got Randall Cobb here. It looks like he should be a go. He's not listed on the injury report. He should be good to go. So that's one of my favorite quarterback plays that I'm going to be taking a look at. On the other side, a lot of folks talking about Tariq Cohen, but you've seen Jordan Howard having a really, really great game last time. Definitely think that you can use him. This is not one of the games that I love a lot in terms of like stacking and playing 2 or 3 guys from Green Bay and then countering that with a guy from Chicago. If I had to, I would go Cohen. He's the cheaper of the 2 backs here. Don't love the pass catcher situation for the Chicago Bears here as far as wide receivers go, but I do think that Zach Miller at 2.8 can be a very, very, very solid spot to play. And I don't think Green Bay is as good against tight ends as we've seen them be the first couple of games of the season. It's because they've been getting beat by the wide receivers. They haven't had to see too much from the tight end. So Zach Miller at 2.8, a very good value play at tight end in my opinion, especially when you look at a quarterback like Matt Glennon. He's going to have to throw the ball to the closest person to him, and usually it's the tight end, the tight end or the running back. So definitely think that Zach Miller is in play for me. Ty Montgomery, don't necessarily love him a lot. If I'm going to be pairing Rodgers with a couple of different guys, it's probably going to be guys like Jordy Nelson, maybe some Devontae Adams. Geronimo Allison would be in play for me if one of the other 3 big receivers were out, but I think Cobb is back, so I'm going to be looking towards those guys, okay? He's the pass-catching back. They'll fall behind early, and Glennon will have to throw all day, and that's why Tariq Cohen is a guy who a lot of folks are going to be taking a look at. And don't forget, Jordan Howard is a decent back catching the ball out of the backfield as well. So, but a 45.5 point total with Green Bay, the 7-point favorite. I'm gonna lean most of my coverage toward a lot of the Green Bay guys, especially in terms of their pass catchers. Now, the 9:30 game, the AM game in London, is the Miami Dolphins at the crib versus the New Orleans Saints, and you got Drew Brees here 7.2, Jay Cutler at 5.8. Let's take a look at Drew Brees and his road splits, his home road splits. I want to look at him on the road. 2015, 24, 33, 7. And this is only the first 2 games. His 2 games of the season were on the road. 20.8 and 15.64. Those are his first 2 road games of the season, and decent. And Miami has been very bad so far this year against the quarterback position. And I really feel like you can play Drew Brees here, and I think most people are going to want to just automatically jump all over the Miami offense. I get it. People love to stream offenses against the New Orleans Saints. I get it. It makes sense. Both teams, yeah, exactly. So this is going to be Saints on the road. This is going to be the Saints on the road. It's going to be Miami on the road. The game is in London, so it's a neutral spot. And they're going to want to put on a show. Generally, these London games, have been high scoring recently. And I think that's by design. I'm not going to say that they're like cheating and setting it up, but I think they like to put teams with bad defenses in London, so you see high scoring, you see a lot of throwing, you see a lot of that, and I really think that this is a really solid game to target. So while I do think that everybody's going to want to play Miami, I think that some of the Saints guys are definitely going to be ways to go. You look at Drew Brees here. I like Kamara priced at 3.9 against that Miami rush defense. He's also a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield. I like Michael Thomas. I think that, you know, even Kobe Fleener at 3.4 is a guy that you can definitely make use of. On the other side, of course, Jay Cutler at 5.8 is going to be usable. Man, it's the worst team in the league against the quarterback position, so of course he's going to be usable. Jay Ajayi burned a lot of folks last week. Nobody's going to want to play him, but I think he's definitely in play at 7.4 against the Saints. And then, of course, Devontae Parker, maybe some Jarvis Landry are also going to be set up to do well here. 49.5 point total with Miami being the underdog with a 3-point edge there. So definitely think it's going to be a game to play. This week I'm on the just play Brady train. Yeah. It makes sense. Of course, the dude's been lighting it up, man. Of course. Next game we got Buffalo Bills are going to Atlanta to take on the Falcons. I think home for Atlanta is going to be a thing this year. I think Matt Ryan at the crib is going to be a thing this year. I really do. I just think so. He's only played one game so far at home, and that was against Green Bay. He only had 14.88 DraftKings points. But I am really looking to Matt Ryan playing well at the crib, not just this week, but for the duration of the season. I love Ryan here. I think Devontae Freeman is just easily in play here at 24th ranked DVP, 7.3K. Julio Jones is questionable at this point. I want to have a look, of course, a closer look at this too, to see exactly what's going on with Julio. See if he's done some practicing. Okay. Dan Quinn said that he's not worried about Julio Jones, who has a back issue, availability for Week 4 against the Bills. Good, that's good to know, because Julio is actually one of the guys who has not gotten in the end zone yet, man. It's going to be a 4th week in a row if he doesn't get in the end zone this week, and I'm pretty much locking up Julio in so many different spots, man. At 8.8, you get Julio under 9K. It's easy to pair with Matt Ryan and Devontae Freeman to make a stack. I like that, and I also think that, if you wanted to pay down to one of the cheaper wideouts, you most certainly can with Muhammad Sanu guy caught a touchdown last week. On the other side, now the Atlanta Falcons do have trouble with mobile quarterbacks, and I think that Tyrod Taylor being able to get out on the edge and make some plays here, I can see him and Charles Clay hooking up, because we know that Atlanta is putrid against a tight end position. Now, do I want to play Tyrod Taylor a lot? Probably not, but I will have some exposure, and I think that automatically puts LaShawn McCoy in play here. There's a team that if this team gets behind, there's very quick ways to score, and that's Tyrod Taylor with his feet, and also them throwing the ball down the field. So this is one of my favorite games. I kind of like the stack. If I'm going to be rocking out a 3-4 man Atlanta stack, then I can definitely see playing a pass catcher like Charles Clay on the other side, maybe even grabbing LaShawn McCoy here. So this is stuff, and of course we're going to take a more in-depth look at this Saturday when we build our lineups for the weekend, when me and the Iceman get together and do our thing. But this is just an initial look of things that I like going forward. So next game we got the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens here. We got Joe Flacco at 4.9, Ben Roethlisberger at 6K. Yo, Joe Flacco is dirt freaking cheap, bro. Joe Flacco is dirt freaking cheap. This is ridiculous how cheap Joe Flacco is, bro. Like, this dude is dirt fucking cheap, and it's not even funny. And this is we saw against we saw what the homie did against them. Kaiser had a good game. They have not been shutting quarterbacks down like so much. This is Flacco is dirt cheap, and you look at him, sneaking the ball out of the backfield to a guy like Javarius Allen at 4.7. That could really help out. That could help out. You look at Mike Wallace, 3.5, a guy I don't really love, but then you got Jerry Maclin at 4.5. This is probably the cheapest stack on the slate. This is a 41.5 point total, and the Pittsburgh Steelers defense has not been scaring me. As a matter of fact, the Baltimore defense has been pretty good. should be priced like Bartolo was last night. Yeah, there's a reason. Yeah, of course there's a reason for Flacco being so cheap. But damn, man, that is cheap as shit, bro. And yo, let's not be fooled, man. The trends have not really taken shape yet, bro. We're still figuring out who is who and what is what. And it just so happens that the DraftKings or FanDuel algorithms, they're not doing that. They're pricing guys off of their ownership and the performance from last week. And that's very finicky right now. Performance and ownership of the week before is very finicky. Because if that be the judge, that's why you get, you know, some of those low-owned guys at cheap price points that are going ham. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to take a closer look at this one. On the other side, you look at Big Ben here, priced all the way down to 6K, facing a very formidable Baltimore defense, even though this is the 13th ranked DVP in the league. Le'Veon Bell, man, I just can't. I have not been able to get with Le'Veon Bell over the last couple of weeks. I mean, he had a decent game last time, but yo, it's just not. I mean, 21, 13, 7, and it's for the first three starts of the season, 21, 13, and 7. Like, could it be that with all of these guys healthy, with, you know, your Martavius Bryant healthy, Antonio Brown, of course, healthy, your Jesse James is a guy that's healthy here. Look how many mouths to feed there is for Ben Roethlisberger. Like, there are so many mouths to feed here. And does Le'Veon Bell, like week in and week out, can he be that guy to get the points that we expect him to get? And I just don't know if I see it there. I just don't know. Like, I'm gonna have to see a game where they go completely ham, right? That price is huge, man. That price is huge. And not saying that he is not that talented to make that price work. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying there's guys that are cheaper that could probably do the same thing that Le'Veon Bell has been doing over the last couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying? So why is it going to be a play for me? Because, of course, the trends are still developing. Nothing that we've seen so far this season is going to stay the way it is for the rest of the season, probably. So we've got to take a look at developing our trends. I think Pittsburgh was divided last week with the whole anthem drama. I don't think they overcome it this week. On the road, Big Ben is disappointing. Can't get to it. They should have blown out Chicago, and look what happened. Definitely. Next game we got is the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are at home here. You got Deshaun Kaiser at 5.2, Andy Dalton at 5.8. Now, we just had a Deshaun Watson game against Cincinnati where we saw the defense was coming. It was bearing down on them, and the pass rush was real. But what we saw was Deshaun Watson be able to get out of the pocket and make some moves. And I think that's the same thing that we can see in terms of Deshaun Kaiser and the Cleveland Browns here. And a couple of guys that I do like here, I like Deshaun Kaiser, of course. I think Duke Johnson is going to be in play for me. Maybe take a look at Rashad Higgins finally at 4.5. But if I was going to play anybody here, it would be Kaiser. I think you can go naked on Kaiser, and Duke Johnson does interest me at 4.5. He really does. I think he should take this job from Isaiah Crowell. He means more to what Deshaun Kaiser can do than Isaiah Crowell does, because not only can Duke run between the tackles somewhat, we also can see Duke Johnson come out of the backfield and catch some balls. So definitely want to have some exposure to Duke Johnson here in a 41-point total. On the other side, Andy Dalton, has he gotten out of the doghouse? I think he has, bro. I think he has. 16 in his last start. Not awesome, but it was definitely usable. AJ Green went ham last time. The price is now 8.6. We know the Cleveland Browns have trouble in the secondary covering those big, fast receivers that can go up and get it the way A.J. Green can. So I'm going to have some exposure here at 8.6. I like him. Everybody is talking up Joe Mixon. The price is up on him at 5.7. I'm not sure I can get to him. Like, I like him as much as everybody else does, but I get it if you do. So you can definitely look at Joe Mixon at 5.7. Tyler Eifert is going to be out. He's not even going to play. Tyler Eifert is not playing. I don't think he's going to play at all. So he's not an option for us here. Pretty solid stack option if you want to take advantage of that. Next game we got is going to be the Los Angeles Rams and the Dallas Cowboys. You got the Cowboys showed up and showed out on Monday night against the Arizona Cardinals, and the catalyst to that performance was Dak Prescott. The catalyst to that was Dak Prescott. Once Dak decided to pull the ball down, make some plays with his feet, keep the defense a little bit more honest, then he was able to throw the ball down the field. He was able to bootleg, play action, just use the full gamut. was what Dak Prescott was able to do. And I think that doesn't change a lot this week. The Cowboys are favored in this game with a 6-point spread. You've got a 48-point total, and we've seen both of these offenses can really light it up when they get a chance to. Most notably, what we saw the Rams do in their last game, that Thursday night game. They've had a full week of rest. I could definitely see the Rams get it in, okay? Because Cowboys suck defensively. They're not very great. Their whole thing is, can they run the ball? Can they run the ball? Can they possess the ball longer than everybody? And I think this is where we see Todd Gurley and Ezekiel Elliott kind of shuffle around and fight for who's the best, being the better of the young running backs, right? 90% on Elliott this week. And I think he's usable. I like Elliott. I think he's usable, definitely. Des Bryant, priced at 6.5. That's going to be a usable play as well. I don't love Prescott as much as I do other quarterbacks, so he's not a guy that I'm particularly interested in. I love Gurley here, even though the Dallas Cowboys are slated to be one of the better run defense in the league. I just see so much of this offense going through Todd Gurley. I like him in this spot. Need to check on Sammy Watkins and see if he is going to be playing here, because he did sustain an injury the last game out. Go. Let's take a look. All right. So, okay. The Rams are good. No injuries there. Okay, good. And that's gonna put Sammy Watkins in play for me at 5.9, like that, and maybe even some golf at 5.6 as a cheap punt play, punt stream play at the quarterback position. Zeke, Gurley, Dak, McCoy, you're in the games. I can dig it. I can dig it. Oh, I'm gonna tell you somebody else who I like too. I'm thinking who else I like. The Cowboy defense is something that I'm not like totally against playing as like a deep sleeper style joint, because that kid from the Cowboys, that Switzer kid, is gonna take back a punt. He's gonna take one back. That little kid is fast as fuck, and he's elusive. So I'm not gonna say the Cowboys are not like off of the table to me as a defense. Remember, this is still Jared Goff. So remember I said that, bro. Remember I said that. Yo, that dude's gonna take one back. He is. Next game we got Dez at 6.5, easy touchdown for Mary. I agree. I agree with Dez at 6.5. I agree with that. Next game we got is gonna be the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans here. We got Deshaun Watson in one of the better matchups in the league in terms of what we've seen right now. A 44-point total. Definitely think Deshaun Watson is going to be in play for me. Him and DeAndre Hopkins are I've seen this seems like the chalk. And everybody, I've seen so many people, I've heard so many people talk about playing Deshaun Watson and playing him with DeAndre Hopkins this week. Everybody is talking about that. I think Deshaun Watson, I think either you're paying up to Brady or you're playing Deshaun Watson. I think that's where everybody is this week. I've heard so much talk about Deshaun Watson this week and how everybody's going to be on him. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I know I'm going to be underweight. I know I'm going to be underweight. But everybody loves Deshaun Watson and DeAndre Hopkins this week. I mean, you think about it. As a quarterback, wide receiver stack, you're only spending 11.5 on both. So if you get you get a 40 point return, like you've done the damn thing, right? You've done the damn thing. So that's what a lot of people are talking about this week, and I can get it. I can dig it. It makes perfect sense. We have seen Houston struggle running the football, and we've seen the Titans really lock down on the run. So you can definitely take a look here at the Houston passing attack, especially with a guy like Deshaun Watson that can make plays with his legs. Also, you got Ryan Griffin at 3.5, solid pass catching option for tight end. You can go there. On the other side, DeMarco Murray kind of took the throne back from Derrick Henry, who also is dealing with a little nagging injury, so you might want to take a look there. Mariota, a guy that I don't love, man. I think the Houston defense can come into play this week. Kind of like him, actually. If I liked the run game, if I liked the Houston run game a little bit more, I would be all over the Texans as a defense. I just don't love the run game right now. I would be all over them as a defense. I just do not like the run game right now. And I think this game could see a lower total than 44. Next game we got is going to be the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. Matt Stafford, price down for Matt Stafford at 6K. We got Sam Bradford at 5.7. Bradford is doubtful, so we're probably going to see Keenum again, man. And Keenum against Detroit defense, bro. Detroit, not a very good team against the quarterback position. So based off what Keenum did last week, I think that puts Diggs squarely in play, even at 7.1. I can't say that I would play Keenum. I can't say that I would play Keenum, but it definitely puts Diggs in play. Yeah, definitely put Diggs in play. Diggs and, of course, Dalvin Cook at 6.5. Guys that are definitely going to be in play for me. We look at what Detroit does and how they struggle against the run, and I like the Dalvin Cook run game. I like Minnesota Vikings being at home. This is probably one of the defenses that I think I can use, even though we've seen a prolific scoring output from a lot of from the Detroit Lions first couple of games of the season. I definitely think that the Vikings are going to be defense that I can use. On the other side, if you wanted to attack the Vikings D, you look at Matt Stafford, who I don't want to play him. I don't want to play. I don't want to play Detroit against the Vikings defense. I just don't. You might, but I don't. And if I had to, it'd be somebody like Ebron, priced at 3.1. I think a guy I think can get in the end zone for cheap. Like I just don't love this. I don't love this offense against Minnesota Vikings defense at home. Vikings D at home. I'm not a fan of attacking them at home. Vikings D at home, man. 9, 2, and 22. 22 against Chicago, 2 against New Orleans, and against Tampa, 9. I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of attacking them. Next game we got is the Carolina Panthers going to New England to take on the Patriots. We got a 9-point differential here and a 49-point total. Brady, check please. Of course, Brady's going to be in play here. The Carolina defense is not what we thought they were. We saw Drew Brees carve them up last week. Don't see why this goes any different, other than the hoodie wanting to change shit up. If you like Tom Brady here, Brandon Cook's going to be in play. Chris Hogan is going to be in play. Of course, Rob Gronkowski is going to be in play. And I can see this as being going back to being a Mike Gillislee game. He's going to be in play for me as well. On the other side, Cam Newton is now under 6K. We look at the New England Patriots, man, one of the worst teams in the league against the quarterback position. And it's a couple of reasons. Number one, the defense just isn't that great. Number two, New England scores so quickly that they do give the ball back, and they give a lot of offensive possessions to the opposing team. So while everybody's like, nah, no Cam for me, I'm maybe some Cam. I like Christian McCaffrey, of course, here. He at 6.8, man, that's a pretty steep price for him. But we saw what Kareem Hunt was able to do, catching passes outside of the backfield. They have got to make that more of a part of this game. We looked at what they did in New Orleans, right? Well, in Carolina against New Orleans. Like, the first 8 plays, 4 of them were receptions to Christian McCaffrey out of the backfield. And that's the script they've got to roll with if they want to be successful and use him the way that he should be used. Look at Cam Newton and how he's struggling to throw the ball far down the field. Like, he's struggling to throw the ball over the corner and under the safety. And the Carolina, you coming out, let Cam go. Yo, at 5.9, bro, I'm gonna take a look. Especially you look at, this is a matchup situation. This is not even about it. This is a matchup situation. So Cam is in play for me. Christian McCaffrey, of course, is a guy that's in play for me. No Kelvin Benjamin means that you've got to take a look at Devin Funchess at 5.3. Of course, no Greg Olsen. So this is tough. I'm not saying run out and play Cam. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, in my initial looking at everybody on the slate, I'm gonna take a look. Patriots worst in the league against the run so far. Awesome. Next game we got is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets. Blake Bortles, priced at 5.3, had a pretty solid showing in London the last game out. 27.56 DK points. We look at Leonard Fournette, which I think is a stone cold lock for 100 and a touch. I really do. Against the Jets this week, I think if you walking around looking for 100 yards and a touchdown, I think Fournette is like an easy place to go. And the fact that I like this running game so much for Jacksonville here, it means that I definitely like the Jags defense. Love the Jags defense. And if I'm going to be going anywhere, that's where I'm going. We got a 39.5 point total. Last week he was against the worst defense, and Cam did do so. And guess what? And that's why what I'm saying to you is the jury is still out on all of the trends. The jury is still out on all of the trends, because the trend was play anybody against the Saints? Do you play anybody against the Saints? And I guarantee you, everybody's gonna play Miami against the Saints. The jury's still out on the trend. We're still developing, right? So give me some Leonard Fournette here. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. You look on the other side. Do I like anybody? I don't know. I don't like McCown. I don't like Forte here. I think Forte is doubtful, of course. If I'm going to play anybody, it's going to be Bilal Powell at 4.6. Powell is in like that spot that that Crowell was in last week when he's run up against a pretty decent defense, but he has the work. He has the workload to make something happen. He's cheap. He's priced at 4.6, and he didn't deliver. So roster him with much caution. But I do like Fournette as well as the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Two of my favorite plays actually on the slate. Next game we got the San Francisco 49ers and the the Arizona Cardinals. We got Carson Palmer at 6.1. We've got Brian Hoyer at 4.8. Hoyer is cheap as shit here, and we've seen the Cardinals, man, be very, very, very bad recently, man, against the quarterback position. And you look at Brian Hoyer, this dude is a pro. He can play. We know that Arizona has been fairly decent against the run outside of that 100-yard performance that they gave up against Zeke, man. But what are they going to do? How are they going to move the ball? You look at Brian Hoyer, 4.8, very cheap. Pierre Garçon, 5.5, is a guy that's also going to be in use. You look on the other side. You got Carson Palmer at 6.1. I think it's usable against the 49er defense. Of course, you got Andre Ellington. He should get the rock. Just give Andre Ellington. If they would like to make him like the bona fide starter guy while David Johnson is out, I could play Andre Ellington. I wouldn't have any issue there. You've got Larry Fitzgerald coming off a monster game Monday night. I think he is a guy that's usable as well. Jerron Brown at 4K is a guy that I do want to have some I want to make some use of as well. 44.5 point total here, so lots of I think in this game, even in terms of stacking, bro. If you wanted to stack Arizona and throw some Pierre Garçon on the other side, I think that's usable as well. Next game we got is going to be the Philadelphia Eagles and the Los Angeles Chargers here. Phillip Rivers, man, 6.3 has been underwhelming to say the least over the last few games. And I think this is a spot for him where we could definitely see Phil play well. I mean, I really do. This is one of my favorite offensive plays of the week, because you got the Chargers. They're at home in Los Angeles. You've got Phillip Rivers, very capable against a 27th ranked DVP against the position of quarterback. You got Melvin Gordon, who should be good to go. Keenan Allen, Travis Benjamin, who I even like here, has moved up ahead of Tyrell Williams. Told you all about Travis Benjamin last week. I love this Los Angeles Chargers offense, and I also like the fact that you're going to see it's a 47 point total, but it's only a 1 point differential. I love that. And you look at Philadelphia on the other side, Carson Wentz at 6.6, not a guy that I absolutely love here. I think Kendall Smallwood is going to be in play if you wanted to get that cheap running back option for the injured Darren Sproles. I think Alshon Jeffrey is in play. We talked about Verrett not being there and going on injured reserve, so that's definitely usable. And of course, Zach Ertz, if you wanted to pay up for the tight end spot, I definitely think that you could play a guy like Zach Ertz. Now, I'm only playing Zach Ertz if I'm playing Carson Wentz, so I probably won't have much exposure. I would go with the Chargers stack and then some Alshon on the other side. That's probably the way I would approach this game. Next game we got is my New York Football Giants. We are slated to score 20 points. That's awesome. Going against the Tampa Bay Bucks. We saw a pretty big offensive explosion, man, last week for my New York Giants, and that's in terms of what they've been doing so far. I mean, you talk about scoring less than 20 points over the previous 8 games, and then finally breaking that 20-point scoring threshold, only to be killed by a 61-yard field goal. Man, tough. Running backs in this spot, price down in a pretty decent matchup. I would just love to know one of these guys are going to be getting 20 carries. That just does not seem to be the case. Really wish that they played Orleans Darkwood and started him and only brought Shane Vereen in on 3rd down, but that's not what's happening. So we're going to have to rely on the passing game if you want to play some Giants here, and that means you're going to sign up for some Eli Manning, some Odell Beckham Jr., Sterling Shepard, and maybe even some Evan Ingram at 3K. Giants defense has not lived up to the billing that we saw in the preseason and in the offseason, actually, with those free agent signings and all the moves that they've been making. But we look on the other side, Jameis Winston, man, 5.9, very solid price on him. I kind of like him. I kind of like him. Yeah, your Sterling's going to be the chalk. Sterling's going to be the chalk this week, most certainly. And then if I want to make sure if the Jackrabbit is in, that's going to curb my enthusiasm for the Tampa Bay receivers. But what do we have here? So we got Olivier Vernon is questionable. X-rays on his injured ankle come back negative. Okay, and then of course Darkwa, it's nothing major. He should be playing. So we're not seeing the Jackrabbit on the injury report. He should be there. That's going to curb my enthusiasm for the bigger receivers, like guys like Mike. But I think Deshaun Jackson, who always does something nice against the Giants. Yo, Deshaun Jackson, no matter what team he plays for, always does something great against the Giants. And at 5.2, he's going to be a guy that I do want to consider, as well as Cameron Brate, because the Giants are one of the worst teams in the league against we are one of the worst teams in the league against the tight end position. So Cameron Brate is going to be in play for me as well. Next game we got is going to be the Oakland Raiders and the Denver Broncos. Home game for the Broncos here, man. And we saw Oakland got their ass whooped, man. It's most notably Amari Cooper. He's priced down to 6K, and he's been horrible with drops recently. I mean, he is getting so many targets, and is dropping so many balls. And I know initially when I look at this game, I saw the 47-point total. I saw the 2.5-point differential. And I was like, oh, maybe some of the Oakland guys are in play. Maybe they get right. But then I had to come back to my senses and, yo, I'm not targeting the Denver Broncos. I haven't done that in quite some time. I'm not doing that today. No, I like Trevor Siemian here at 2.5. I like C.J. Anderson. Love C.J. Anderson, actually, in this spot. I think that Emmanuel Sanders is going to be in play. Maybe some Demaryius Thomas. Even Virgil Green at 2.7, because we know how bad the Oakland Raiders can be against the tight end position. Now, am I going to play the Denver defense here? Probably not. I don't love C.J. Anderson that much to play the Denver defense, but I'm not going to load up on offensive players from Oakland either. I'm not. This is another squad. I just don't want to have much to do with them. Not going to be playing them here. Next game, we got the Indianapolis Colts and the Seattle Seahawks. Again, we've got Russell Wilson highly favored in a very, very good spot, and I think now we can do that. Let's go. If Baldwin is in and Baldwin plays, I'm going to love him a lot. If not, that's going to put guys like Paul Richardson and Tyler Lockett in play. Definitely going to have some exposure to Russell Wilson here. One of the worst teams in the league against quarterback position are the Indianapolis Colts, so I'm going to have some exposure here. Chris Carson, man, don't love him. CJ Prosise. If Prosise is out, I might rock with some of these cats, but it's going to be tough, man, because you look at Chris Carson, you look at Rawls, and what the actual the timeshare is going to be in terms of in terms of runs. Let's take a look. Let's go look at the injury report here for Seattle. Okay, Baldwin is considered day-to-day. You got head coach Pete Carroll told us, okay, that Prosise had his ankle examined. So they're not really giving you anything. They're really not. We need to find out more about that one. Okay? But yeah, so you give me Lockett, who I do like at 4.5. I kind of like Lockett at 4.5. Jimmy Graham at 4.9 is a guy that I do like. On the other side, Jacoby Brissett, I'm not playing him in this spot. I'm just not. I'm not playing T.Y. Hilton here. Nah, I don't like the Indianapolis guys either. And the last game, the Monday night joint, is going to be the Washington Redskins and the Kansas City Chiefs. 49.5 point total. I would suggest getting some exposure here. Chris Thompson, the guy I'm definitely going to be using. I like Kirk Cousins. He's one of my favorite quarterbacks on the slate. Jamison Crowder at 4.9 is definitely a guy that I'm going to be making use of. Love him in that spot. No Jordan Reed. Vernon Davis, maybe. He's priced up 3.7. Don't really love that. On the other side, I am playing Kareem Hunt. He's 8.5. I am playing Kareem Hunt, most certainly. He's just, everything flows through this kid, man. Like this is like easily a Carson is in play. Indianapolis run D on the road is shaky. Got it, most definitely. Let's go back and highlight that. Gotcha. So, Kareem Hunt, man, he's already shown us what he is, and he's in play. Travis Kelce, this is the worst team in the league against tight ends. Travis Kelce is in play at 6K. And when I like two mainframe centerpiece offensive guys like that, that's going to put the quarterback in play for me as well, looking at Alex Smith here. So, taking a look at my quarterback pool, because this is where it all starts, bro. This is where you start based on the quarterback, okay? We got Brady, Rodgers, Matt Ryan, Russell Wilson, Drew Brees at the top from 7K above, you know, and those are the guys that you may like. And if I had to pick one of these guys for that top range, the guy I'm going to have to go with is actually going to be, I love Matt Ryan this week. I do. I love Matt Ryan this week. I do. In the 6K range, we've got from Stafford all the way up to Carson Wentz. Yeah, from Stafford to Carson Wentz. My favorite guy here is going to be Phillip Rivers. So I like Ryan. I like Phillip Rivers. And the cheap guys, 6K and below. 6K and below. You got Tyrod. You got Jared Goff. You've got Andy Dalton, Jay Cutler, Jameis Winston, Cam Newton. I'd have, dang, that's tough. And Deshaun Watson. I'd have to go. I have to split between Watson and Kaiser. I have to split between Watson and Kaiser. Yeah, I would have to split between Watson and Kaiser. And don't like sleep on Drew Brees, bro. Just go Palmer at 6.1. Awesome. Well, this of course has been your DFS Jerusalem man breaking down this week's NFL slate in its entirety from Thursday all the way to Monday night. Yo, if you want to get in with us, man, and really rock with us, very simple, man. Go check out the website, www.dfssweatshop.com. This is where you can go become a part of this group, man. Really dope stuff. Upon your paid subscription, you'll be welcomed into the very best Facebook group online. That's where we release most of all of our content, and where we also rock. Yo, yeah, I like Simeon. I like Simeon too. So, yo, NBA is approaching soon. Follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. Much love and respect to all of you, man. I will check you all out later on. The number one thing I want you to do, man, I want you to go out and rock out in NFL, bro. And we keep it real, we keep it honest, and we always keep it 300. Peace.